Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome back to Ghayb Gate. In part 1, a boy was thrown into a well by his brothers. In part 2, he chose prison over sin. Today, everything changes. Years had passed in that Egyptian prison. Yusuf had been forgotten. The man he helped, the one who was freed, had forgotten to mention him to the king. And Yusuf remained, in chains, in silence, trusting Allah. But Allah never forgets his beloved. One night, the king of Egypt woke up in a cold sweat. He had seen a dream so terrifying, so vivid, that he could not go back to sleep. He saw 7 fat cows being devoured by 7 thin cows, and 7 green ears of grain withering beside 7 dry ones. He called his advisors, his magicians, his scholars, every wise man in the palace. "Tell me the meaning of this dream." They looked at each other. They shook their heads. "These are confused nightmares, O king. We have no knowledge of interpreting such dreams." The king was unsatisfied. He knew this was no ordinary dream. This was a message. But from where and for whom? At that moment, the man who had been freed from prison years before suddenly remembered. The young man in the prison, the one who interpreted dreams with such certainty, the one who had asked him, "Mention me to your king." He rushed to the king. "I know someone, a man in the prison. Send me to him." He ran to the prison. He found Yusuf, and he said, "O Yusuf, the truthful one, tell us the meaning of 7 fat cows devoured by 7 thin ones, and 7 green ears of grain besides 7 dry ones, that I may return to the people with an answer." Yusuf did not ask, "Why did you forget me all these years?" He did not demand his freedom first. He did not negotiate. He simply answered. Because that is who Yusuf was. Even in chains, he served. Even forgotten, he gave. Even wronged, he never became bitter. This is one of the greatest character lessons in the entire Quran. The person who wronged you coming back for help is a test from Allah, and Yusuf passed it perfectly. Yusuf spoke clearly. "You will plant for 7 consecutive years. Whatever you harvest, leave most of it in the ear. Store it, save it, protect it. Then after those 7 years, 7 difficult years will come. A severe drought. The people will consume everything you stored, except a little that you set aside. Then after that, a year will come of rain, of relief, of life returning. A year where the people will press oil and juice." 7 years of abundance, 7 years of famine, then 1 year of relief. He mapped out 15 years of Egypt's future from a prison cell with complete certainty. Not because he was a fortune teller, but because Allah gave him knowledge that no one else possessed. The messenger rushed back to the king, and when the king heard the interpretation, he said only one thing: "Bring him to me." After years of unjust imprisonment, after being sold as a slave, after being thrown in a dark well, the king of the most powerful empire in the world was calling for Yusuf. But Yusuf had one condition before he would leave. When the messenger came to take Yusuf to the king, Yusuf stopped him. He said, "Return to your king and ask him, what happened with the women who cut their hands? My lord knows well their plot." Think about this moment carefully. The doors of freedom had just opened. The king was calling for him personally. All he had to do was walk out. And he said, "No, not yet." He wanted his name cleared first. He wanted the truth established. He would not leave prison with a shadow of accusation over him, because his honor mattered more than his freedom. The king summoned the women. He summoned Zuleika. "What happened that day? Tell the truth." The women said, "Allah forbid! We know no evil against him." And Zuleika, after years of silence, finally spoke the truth. "Now the truth has come out. It was I who sought to seduce him. And indeed, he is of the truthful ones." Innocence finally established. After years of imprisonment, after years of accusation. The truth always comes out. It may take time, it may take years, but Allah always reveals what is hidden. Now, Yusuf was ready to walk free. When Yusuf stood before the king of Egypt, the king looked at him and immediately recognized that this was no ordinary man. He said, "Today you are established in position and trusted." Yusuf looked at the king and said something remarkable. "Place me in charge of the storehouses of the land. Indeed, I am a knowing guardian." The slave asked for the position himself, not out of arrogance, not out of greed, but because he knew he was the only one who could save Egypt, and he knew that Allah had been preparing him for this moment. Every trial, every prison, every betrayal was preparation for this day. And the king gave it to him. The boy thrown in a well, the slave sold for a few coins, the man falsely imprisoned, was now the minister of Egypt, the most powerful position in the greatest empire of his time, second only to the king himself. He was given authority over the land, the treasury, the grain, the people, and Yusuf, the prophet of Allah, did not use this power for revenge. He did not seek out his brothers. He did not punish those who wronged him. He worked. He planned. He organized. He stored grain for 7 years, preparing Egypt for the famine to come. And Allah says in the Quran, "Thus did we establish Yusuf in the land, to settle wherever he willed. We touch with our mercy whom we will, and we do not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good." 7 years passed. The famine came exactly as Yusuf predicted. It spread not just across Egypt, but across the entire region, including a land called Canaan, where an old blind man sat waiting, still believing, still praying, still hoping. His name was Yaqub, and his 11 sons were about to make a journey to Egypt in desperate search of food. The famine was devastating. From across the region, people traveled to Egypt, because Egypt alone had food, because Yusuf alone had prepared. One day, a group of men arrived at the palace. They came seeking food. They came in desperation. They bowed before the minister of Egypt, and the minister of Egypt looked at them. He recognized them, his own brothers, the same brothers who had ripped him from his father, who had thrown him in the dark well, who had sold him for a few silver coins, who had returned to their father with a blood-soaked shirt. They were standing before him, bowing to him, just as Allah had shown him in that dream, as a child in Canaan all those years ago. But they did not recognize him. The boy they had thrown away had become the most powerful man in Egypt. Yusuf controlled his emotions. He did not reveal himself.
He spoke to them through a translator so they would not recognize his voice. He asked them questions. He gave them their food. He treated them generously. But before they left, he said, "Bring me your other brother, the one you left behind with your father. Do you not see that I give full measure? Bring him to me." That brother was Binyamin, Yusuf's only full brother, his mother's son, the only family he had left. The brothers agreed and left, and Yusuf watched them go, holding back tears that had waited 20 years to fall. The reunion was coming, but first, one more test, for his brothers, for his father, and for Yusuf himself. Part 4 is the episode that will break your heart and then heal it completely. Subscribe to Ghayb, turn on the bell. We are almost at the greatest moment in this story. This is Ghayb, unlocking the unseen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.